written especially also in my not mother language. I was really working a lot, and I'm still working a lot and very, very hard. I still let myself being coached by very, very good coach. Many people told me, please do not do it, or you can do it a little bit, but keep the special note you have in your voice, because this is something charming and this is your brand. This is you. Leona König has always maybe a little different tone of the note, which is really nice, but still I said, when you are successful and when you reach Olymp, it's important to be able to stay there, to work on yourself all the time.
Hello and welcome to the Ronny Leber Show, where every week we bring you fascinating guests with inspiring stories of success and overcoming obstacles from the worlds of sports, business and entertainment. To support this channel, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell and hit the like button so that we can deliver you the best content possible. Having grown up behind the Iron Curtain in Prague in the Czech Republic since 2016, she dedicates a big part of her work to the advancement of young talents in classical music. She is the founder of the International Music Foundation for Highly Gifted Children. She is a TV host of the show Stars and Talents and the big show The Golden Note. She's a producer and now also making her footprints in the acting world. She received numerous awards. In 2020, she was awarded as the Austrian of the Year for Cultural Heritage. In 2022, she was the winner of the Woman of the Year award, and she recently got awarded with the Grand Decoration of Honor in Gold for her services to the Republic of Austria. Joining us live from Vienna, Austria, I'm very happy to have her on the show. Please welcome, here's Leona König. Woo!
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm very thrilled and excited to have you here. And today we'll not just talk about discovering and pursuing your talents, how to go your own way, and also how to follow your dreams. But before you get into all of that, having grown up in a communist country behind the Iron Curtain as a kid, was that what you had imagined as a kid? And how was life different back then?
Yes, of course, I couldn't imagine this when I was a child. I had no idea, and I was just wanted to be a princess, or just wanted to maybe be a nurse or a bookkeeper. So I never imagined this kind of career. And but later on, I was just a normal child. I grew up quite normally, and then later I studied university. Economics university, which of course gave me a base of a good education to make my own life, and afterwards I married in Austria, and of course later on after I split, I divorced, then I said I want to absolutely work and I want to do something in my life. And as I had a child, my daughter, who was talented, I gave her, let's say, a beautiful present, a piano, and I told her I was wishing very much that she could play it. And I was very lucky because my daughter turned to be very talented. So in this way, I started get to know some other talented children because we were traveling all the world, and she was playing concerts and was part of competitions, international competitions. And I saw how beautiful is this world of small children, cutest children, playing wonderful instruments, and how happy they were to see each other, to see other kids, to compete with them. So it's a little bit like in the sport, but it's in the classical music, and this inspired me a lot. And as I wanted,
and before we actually dive more into that, because I can already see your passion shining through for the
yes,
kids, and also for their talents, and isn't it a coincidence also that, especially working in classical music or with classical music, that you are now living in the world capital of classical music in a way? It's quite a fitting thing. But actually, before we get into that, just give us an understanding for anybody that has not, or maybe is too young to remember how life was when you were a kid, because it was quite different, wasn't it? It was not, you were mentioning you wanted to become a bookkeeper, you wanted to become a nurse, things like that, like normal jobs, I would say. But back
No, the
then, how
princess
was?
was not quite normal. But I think it was a dream of every little girl.
Yeah, of course, and still, how was life different growing up back then behind the Iron Curtain to how it is when you grow up today?
You know, I'm a person, I live so much with the present and with the future. I think it is my USB to the success. Never think back. Because, of course, if I remember that, I think I had not, it was very difficult to get anything in our country in that time, of course. It was different. Of course, the life was much more modest and very much when you wanted to make a maybe career, then you had to absolutely go out of the countries. Then, so for me, this, if I would remember this, it makes me a little bit, I would say, even demotivated for my future. So I better not to think about this and concentrate on my next targets and my next step in my career, and that's what I do.
That's very beautiful, and I think it's a very beautiful mindset also in terms of like to not be caught up with the past, but to really be
Yes,
focused on what's happening right now, and also what you can
absolutely.
actually do and change because you cannot change the past. But what I was wondering now, while you were telling that, because you have a lot of drive or a lot of fire inside of you, a lot of drive to change things, to change the world, or to change things that are inside of your realm. Where does it come from?
You know, sometimes I was also thinking about it. Where does this come from? Um, I think it's a kind of, I cannot describe it. I believe in God, and I go to the church very often, pray also very often, pray for all what I have reached, for this for the children I made happy, for people supporting me a lot. And I pray for this. I pray for this because this is not something common, and so I'm thankful every single day to have this. And I don't know, maybe it's a kind of energy I believe in, and I also believe a lot that this is not the end. So I also have other targets to move what I moved in the region Austria, also to do it internationally. So I work on it very hard. I travel also for this, and I believe a lot to show to the people who believes in the classical music and believes in children. I want to show them that we can give to the children beautiful opportunities and the stage, and through this to make also the audience happy. And because this is something, let's say, daring, or maybe something very unusual, but I shown that it's possible. I shown it here that it's possible, that it's successful. I showed it also to music institutions, to the universities, that we should not forget the musical talented children also when they are 8, 9, 10, 12 years old, because until then, until all this project became successful, all these people in the universities, they were thinking, we just keep our children. And of course they are still people, they think we should keep our small cute musicians, talented musicians, only in the schools, and we should not give them the opportunities and so on. Of course there are some of them, but most of the people, they support this, they love it. And also another proof of it is that the Golden Note gets also engagements, so that we get engagements for concerts in the different regions of Austria. And this is another proof that not only the television and the success of the quotes, but also that the concert halls, they want us. And this is for me a big proudness and success. And I want to also do it out of Austria.
Well, that's very beautiful. And also, when you were actually, I mean, you mentioned before you studied economics,
Yes.
and then which is of course, let's say, a very left brain subject. And I also studied economics, so I know how it's like. It's really about a lot of thinking. On the other way, it's musical talent, and so on. It's a lot of right brain activity. It's a lot of creativity and so on. And you started out with a normal job. You were leading a consulting company. So how did you get from your normal job of the consulting company then to really say, hey, I want to dedicate my life right now to kids to develop their talent? Was it just through the instance with your daughter, or was there something else that really ignited that fire inside of you?
No, I mean, as you say, the economic university was useful a lot. I mean, it helped me a lot because what I do, I'm a CEO of my company. I am a CEO of a foundation. I'm not a charity lady like the newspapers were writing 5, 6, 7 years ago, who does nothing. It's my job. It's a hard work, and this helped me a lot. Of course, the education to lead people, to make contracts, to convince people. This is very, very important. And the university, the economic studies gave me the chance to be able to do it. But for the classical music, I mean, because everybody's asking me, do you play some instruments? No, I don't play instruments, but it really came, as I said from the beginning, it really came from my daughter. Through her talents, through the competitions, through the concerts, I found out that I want to do something. I want to do something around her. I want to create something. I wanted to create a foundation. I wanted to help children. I wanted to give them additional challenges. Because in Austria we do not have so many competitions, and not at all children being shown on the stage. So I wanted to change it. And I still, that time when I found the foundation 7 years ago, I did not know exactly what I want to do. I knew I want to change. I want to do the classical music. I want to help children, want to give the, additional opportunities. But I did not know that, for example, Golden Note will become a classical show on TV, broadcasted in Austria and in Germany. I did not know that I will get additional stage with Stars and Talents show. I did not know I will become moderator. I did not know all this So during the career, during this beautiful development, I found myself as well.
And I think what's very beautiful about what you're sharing with us right now is that when you're following your passion and you don't know immediately what comes out of that, but then just the magic happens when things fall into place. And what I was wondering right now, because you were mentioning also your daughter and with classical music, and nowadays, when kids grow up, it's not so usual to actually go into classical music because obviously you listen to the radio or you listen to all kinds of pop music and whatever there is around right now. Why did your daughter why did you then choose classical music?
I think it also is a part of general education. So when you are in the school, in the basic school, they ask you which kind of instruments do you want to play. So it's something you even don't think about. You just don't. I think it will be more more unnatural to have a 5, 6 years old child and saying, now you will become a, I don't know, guitarist, electronic guitarist, or being part of a band.
The Spice Girl.
Yes, something like this. I think this would be more extravagant, more special than to choose the classical instruments, because in the every basic school they ask you what do you want to play. So it was just like on the hand. It was something very natural.
Okay. And then again, classical music has been around for centuries. And classical music also has, it's timeless, obviously, it's classical. And it also has some advantages compared to, let's say, contemporary music, hasn't it? In terms of that it also, let's say, there are even some studies of Mozart music that it helps plants grow, or that it helps you to learn faster or better, or that it puts your brain waves in a certain mood, isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. Or when you have the Wagyu beef. The Wagyu beef is the product of cows. They are listening classical music. So
Really?
it is, yes. So classical music is moving something special, and not only for the good products to eat for the animals, but also for the soul of people. And it makes you calm, it makes you relax, and it helps you. And as I know, the artist, and for example, for musicians, classical music means like being an air they breathe. It's so important for them, from their soul, and to live. So an artist, they do not play because they earn money. I mean, this is the difference to other jobs, maybe. Of course, they need to live and they need to earn money, but the first passion is they would even do it for free, and many of those they do. And this is something special because it shows how important, how it is inside of the hearts of people.
Wow, that's very beautiful. So take us back to the moment when you first decided you're going to do this, because there are many people out there who would like to pursue their passion, who would like to do something daring, who would like to go in a field that maybe they have not been before, but they were like, they have a calling, but maybe there is this inner resistance that is like, I don't know if I can do it, or I don't know if I'm really made for that. Did you also have those doubts? Or did you also have those struggles within yourself, or how was your beginning when you actually said, I'm going to do something about that?
No. I think if I had this, I would not have been so successful. I had it completely different. I put 5 points, and I said, like a student of the economics university, I said, what do I need to arrive? Which points I need? And I said, okay, point number 1. Do I have it? Yes. Second, do I have it? Yes. So I put all these things and I said, okay, I have all what is needed. Then I will be successful. And then it became truth. So I came into it not like an artist, but more like someone who counted 1 to 1 is 2. So it's I knew exactly that I have everything I need for this, and I managed to do that.
Do you remember those points, or some of them in the beginning?
Oh, you make me thinking. No, at the time, maybe some of the point, yes. So in the time when I started the foundation, I said, so you need to have a network. I had a network. You need to have sponsors. I had sponsors. You need to have uh, talented children. I had talented children, and so on. I don't remember now anymore, but it was like this, more or less.
Wow, that's really fantastic. So basically, and it brings up a few more points, because and one of the things that I wanted to talk with you anyway was the factor of networking, and you just brought it up. How important is networking for you, and what's the, let's say, the Leona König secret for networking?
So the networking is incredibly important and should always not forget to follow and make the network bigger. This is very, very important. And from the beginning, I had already, let's say, a good base. I knew where I start. But from the artist point of view, so let's say I had already the business network. So the business network I had, and then I had let's say the beginning of a cultural networking, but I basically brought it up by myself from zero. So from the classical point of view, from the artist, zero, because when I started the foundation, I actually did not know personally one single artist. So I really started from zero, but I knew where's the beginning, and I think also, as we mentioned from the beginning, it's maybe kind of energy, which leads you, and also a little bit maybe of luck, but I don't say luck. I think it's an energy, and so I started this networking, and of course, the television gives you also incredible base of network, I would say, because of course, for many artists, it's very important to support the young children. So we have already very good base. But of course, then when they also know this will be shown on the television, they are also very keen to work with. So of course, the television also gives you a huge help to build up next project and to build up also internationally.
So to sum it up, basically, it's really about first gathering up everything that you have, all your assets, everything that you already have built, your network in a certain field, and so on. Like all those kind of things, you put them all together, and then because when you're mentioning the TV, you didn't have initially TV. It just it came along the way as you kept building, and the TV is basically one form of a platform. So somebody might not have a TV, and then they might create a podcast. They might create something on YouTube. They might create whatever it is, a blog, or in order to create a platform so that they can also bring in other people and feature them and to make it more attractive for them, isn't it?
Yes, and I was always from the beginning was very important from the beginning for me to also anything I do to also show it to people. So I think this was also the secret. So I was always from the beginning also working with all the press, not only with TV, but with the press. And I want the biggest partner, which I have until now, Kronenzeitung, which helped me also a lot to feature and to support. So and on all this, let's say a basket of all this gives you the energy to be able to follow the next steps.
And in order to make this attractive for the media, in order to make this attractive for other people, for sponsors, for everybody in your network, you need to, in a marketing world, you would say you need to create an irresistible offer. You need to create something that for them is so attractive that they say, okay, we want to show this to our listeners, to our readers, to the world. How did you create that irresistible offer?
Of course, you must you must offer a good product, but how it all started with the television was that it was I always had a golden note in the biggest music institution in Austria, Musikverein, Vienna Concert House, and so on, and then in the Corona time, golden note for chamber music, which was quite daring as well.
Explain the golden note for somebody who has not heard about the golden note.
Okay, Gold Note is basically a music award where I choose before, of course, it's a 1 year work before each Gold Note, where I make a research for most talented children of the country, and then I choose them in the semi-final. And then afterwards in the final, this is the golden note, they will perform. And through a jury of very famous worldwide known artists, they will be chosen through this jury. And in the end of the show, this finalist of the golden note, they get, for example, they get many prizes. They get master classes, they get performances by different concerts, they get concerts. They get our trophy, done of Chopin. They get beautiful things, and one of those is also their own TV show, Stars and Talents. So it's also something wonderful. And basically, what I wanted to say from the beginning was that. Then I made the golden note of chamber music, which was also something special. Because many of the educators were saying it's too early to make chamber music when children are 10 years old. And I just remember the thanking letter of the rector of the most important university of Austria, saying, thank you very much, Mrs. König, that you've shown to us how important in this young age is to make music in an ensemble. So this is, for example, also something very good, because I know I do something really good for the small musicians. And then in the Corona time, there was a special need for culture. and there couldn't be any events, but only TV productions. So I was asked to make the Golden Note to be streamed. So my Golden Note was then streamed, but it was a special Golden Note because I couldn't in the Corona time search for new talent. So I took the talents of the last years and I awarded them for the TV production, and it was at that time for ORF free. And it became very successful because we got really, really huge quotes. So then it developed bigger for the ORF2. So yes, this is what I
Which
wanted
is
to say.
the national television station in Austria, and so
Yes.
it became quite big and bigger, and of course also your name grew in a way because more and more people started to notice you, and more people you now were on a major television station. Through growing and through also becoming, first of all, growing personally, but on the other hand also through becoming more famous, what differences did you notice? Also, in a way, were there differences, maybe some upsides, but also some downsides that you noticed?
Yes, of course. I mean, there's a huge difference in being popular, yes, of course. But on the other side, I also see a lot of envy. Of course, there are also maybe some, I would wanted to say people, but mostly women. Mostly women. So I really find on my way also jealousy, of course, and maybe some people wanting to put some stones in the way, but when you are public, you have to just forget it. And fortunately, this is what I do and I can do, because some people maybe they cannot do and they get depressed if there is something or somebody who wants to make something wrong or something against you. But for me, it's no problem. If something happened like this tomorrow, I don't know it. So I really I have a good potential to look forward and not backward, or I can. I don't think about these negative energies, but of course, as more public you are, as more negative energies you have. But I can tell you something special. What I found out when I started to go on Instagram, and basically I was not on the Instagram before. I started the Instagram when I started the foundation. You know that if there is something, I sleep not very well. So for example, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep when I posted something. I felt so much the different kind of energies of people, and it really from the beginning it really disturbed me. So I really had to take my force to come over this, because you feel it. You feel it. I feel it. I'm very sensitive, so I feel it. I feel all these energies, and when there is, for example, when you do something and then next day you will be in all newspapers. So I was also a little bit nervous, and from the beginning nervous and saying, okay, how this will go, how will be, how the critics will be, how will be this. So of course this is something very, very unusual and special, but with the time, with the years, you come over it, and now I don't care. Now I'm like a panther.
Wow, like a tank. You just basically not, or like Teflon, like a
Yeah,
Teflon vest
exactly. I
wearing.
mean, you must do because otherwise you go crazy, or I don't know, people taking alcohol or drugs or have depressions. No, no, no. Fortunately, I'm so lucky for this is not the case for me.
Wow. So how do you deal nowadays with critics? Is that something that just doesn't bother you, or how does that, or do you think, because everybody deals differently, or do you think like, okay, maybe that person has a point, or maybe that, are you taking it to heart? Are you really thinking about it, or what's your process?
Um, Fortunately, it's we are talking always about children. We are talking about young talents, and we have to be very, very careful and sensitive about what we do, what we say, how we treat them, because the children, they are very innocent souls, and I don't want to push them. I just want to encourage them, and of course, I would say maybe that 95% of the journalists are feeling the same. Very, very most is the critics are very, very positive, very appreciating. But of course, it's the little percent of maybe some nasty people or maybe nasty journalists. They are like to search maybe, some other private things, because basically, there was even a journalist saying like, and the children might get masterclass or concerts. This is something what I say, oh my God, have I not shown enough? Have I not since many years show I have master classes? The children after the master classes gets the final concert and so on. So I think there are people maybe they do not have enough information, and they search something to get more, let's say, interesting in writing something different on basis of not having information. So of course, but I must come along with it. I mean, this is the very little percent. It's just maybe happened to me once or twice in the whole career. So it's not much. It's not much, but it is.
It happens, and also now thinking when you and I know you already shared that you're not looking back so much, that you're in the present and the future, and maybe something comes to mind to you that were there also some obstacles that you had to overcome, some things where you thought, well, this is actually hard, but somehow you overcame that. Does something come to mind to you?
No, I basically there was nothing so big that I failed. There was not. Of course, later on, when you have more targets you want to do, and your spectrum of work becomes wider, of course there are little small things which fails. That's completely normal. But I was really lucky that all the big things I managed. So there was not. Of course, I had also obstacles, especially when I was starting going in the television. Of course, the jealousy was very big, and some people they wanted to grab and take something away from me, But I was clever enough to protect my brand, to protect what I have, and this was very important. So I was able to avoid it.
You went into a field, being on TV and also being a host of a show, that you didn't really have an experience before. How do you perceive new challenges? How do you tackle them? And also, how do you get better constantly?
Yes, so this is very important for me. I do it until now. That when I became moderator, and especially also in my not mother language, I was really working a lot, and I'm still working a lot and very hard on my accent, on the moderation. No, moderation was before. Of course I got coaches for the moderations, but then after I did not need it anymore. But I still let myself being coached by very good coach in Austria for the accent, because I wanted to make it as less not Austrian possible. But many people told me, please do not do it, or you can do it a little bit, but keep the special note you have in your voice, because this is something charming and this is your brand. This is you. So Leona König has always maybe a little different tone of the note. And many people told me, no, don't do it. Do not get coach. It's so beautiful, and which is really nice. When I started in the television, there was no one criticizing, saying, oh, but why, I don't know. I think it's also nice. And also in the national TV, we get all very international. And I think it's also beautiful and important not to concentrate only on Austrian moderator. You can have also international moderator. I think this is really also beautiful and connected with my project. it was well accepted. And but still I said I want to work myself. I want to work myself, and I'm doing it, and I think it's very, very important. And I think also when you are successful and when you reach Olymp, it's important to be able to stay there, to work on yourself all the time. And I'm also having acting coach with amazing professor, amazing coach, and amazing partner. So I do work on myself also on the acting side. The
And we'll
first
get into the acting in just a moment. But before you touched a few things that I want to pick up because it was really, really beautiful. On the one hand, you said that on the one hand, working on yourself, but still keeping your personal note. And that reminds me also of Arnold Schwarzenegger everybody that has heard him speak English knows that it's not his mother language, and that also he doesn't speak. You can hear that he's not born in the U.S., so you can hear that there is this Austrian note. And I recently heard an interview where he said that he had some accent removal classes, and he still is looking for the guy to get his money back. But no, in a kidding way, of course. But anyway, it's great to work on yourself, and at the same time to keep something that makes you unique, that is something that is remarkable, or that other people can immediately distinguish it's you. For example, when you listen to music, you can immediately, when you listen to a song, even if you don't know who that song is from, if you listen to a Michael Jackson song, you know immediately it's Michael Jackson. Or if you, an Austrian artist, Falco, for example, who was with Rock Me Amadeus also #1 in the Billboard charts, when you listen to one of his songs, you know it's him. And there are certain artists where you immediately distinguish this is that person and nobody else.
you are saying maybe I should really stop having coach.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's great. That was the second thing, actually, because I think it's great to work on yourself. When you look at Barack Obama is a fantastic speaker. And does it feel natural when he speaks? Normally, I guess it does. But also, did he get coaching in order to get there?
Of course.
Absolutely. So it's really to take the coaching and make something that is unique, that is your own.
Yes, that's it. And this is exactly what I follow, to keep the personal note. Although I keep coaching against my personal note, but I think the personal note will always stay there. So yeah, I think it's very important for your success to be unique. Otherwise, yeah.
Before we get into the acting, I have another question, actually, because you already mentioned before you were on TV in a language that is not your mother language, and you have been living in Austria now for some years. At the same time, you've received quite some awards, and just recently got awarded with basically the highest award that a country can give out, which is the Golden Medal of Honor, so to say, or the Golden. I googled it. The Grand Decoration of Honor in Gold for services to the Republic of Austria, which is an incredible achievement. How did that feel for you to be awarded with the highest award a country can give you from a country that is not even the country that you were born in?
It was very special for me, of course, incredible special. But I also think that it was very important for me because some people, they could think Leona König, okay, we know her from the television, she makes this, she moderates these shows, but this is not like that. I'm not the moderator being put at the certain shows like it's usual. It is my own product which I created many years ago, and it is my brand, my license, and also was important to show that behind this golden note and stars and talents, there is something more. There's the education, there's the support, there's a support in terms of financial support, in terms of being seen. These all, I was so happy that I could show also to people that there is something behind. And for this, I got this medal. This is very important because I'm not just the moderator of a show. It is a big supportive project which I give to the children, and I really also help them to the new opportunities because I introduce them to the artist. I organize concerts with them, and then after, the artists are engaging them, take them to the other concerts. Also, so afterwards they get contacts, and many children, they are so thankful to me and write me so many beautiful words, and the parents saying, thank you so much. You introduced me there. You introduced me there. We have not only master classes. Some children, they get even semesters on the universities because I have a very good cooperation with the University of Performing Art, the private university of the city, Vienna, and this is really special. And for me, it was so beautiful, but also so heartwarming that I was appreciated for something what I do since many years and for something what many people don't know. So this was very important for me.
Wow, very beautiful, and thank you for sharing. Now let's talk about something in the future, and it's already also happening in the present, acting, because that is one of your newest passions in a way that you have pursued for now some time, and you also already have had in the Czech Republic a few roles that you played in. Why did you choose acting, and what can we see from Leona König in the future?
It's something, actually, I did the first acting coach to improve and be more easy and very natural on the stage. And then so absolutely it helps also for the moderations. But I discovered also myself that I love it, that it's something beautiful, that it's acting to be someone else. I really, it's something very special. And I could also imagine if one day, don't know what happens, it's also beautiful to have the second possibility to work as an actress. So I did have already some roles, especially in Czech Republic, in my natural language, but I also was playing in English and dubbed myself in German. But there are other roles coming. I should play in the Krimi, which calls The Hunter, next year, and also in the Krimi film of Docent. So I'm looking forward very much. But I want to also share something important with you. It is not so easy because when you have already stamp of being someone else or working as TV host, it's very hard to get into the acting. Because recently I was talking with one quite famous actress, and she said, I was actress, or I'm still actress since 30 years. And then I started to write books, regie. And then since then that everybody knew that I'm author as well, she stopped having jobs for the acting. So this is also something it's very hard to get into the new field if you have reached already something else. So for the moderator, it's very difficult to be an actor, or it's very difficult. So this I'm still fighting with, and acting already my third role in Czech Republic, just since 1.5 years basically, because there I'm starting at zero. There nobody knows who is Leona König. And this is something what I say, oh, I'm so sad. I'm so sad for this because I would love so much. I would wish so much, but I have it. It's really, it's hard. It's hard. So the people, they just say, okay, she has already anyway, everything. She has this, that. She does not need this anymore. And they just don't take you, don't accept you, you know? So this is quite hard. So I'm like, working against the wind, you know?
An uphill battle, so to say, which oftentimes happens in life. Let's have, as we're closing, or as we're coming close to the end, let's wrap it up with some rapid fire questions. What's one piece of advice that you would like to give somebody who is just starting out on their journey?
Think realistically what you have to arrive to your target. So just realistically analyze all what you have and what is easy for you or sure to reach. And with all this package, start your dreams. But you have to realistically think if it's possible and not to dream.
Who is somebody that you admire or look up to, and why?
Oh, I have many people I admire. So many people. Maybe I appear to be very realistic. I am, but also on the same time, I'm very dreamy. Also, so my idols are, not existing anymore. My idols are from back far history. I love to read historical books. I love to read the books about Napoleon. And I love all the stories around First World War and everything what happened before. So for this, all my, big role models are far from the back history.
What's one thing that you cannot live without?
I cannot live without my daughter. Now I could say I cannot live without my job. I cannot live without what I do. I would never leave my project down. So, and I was also thinking once if maybe one day it will not be I die, but I think that also in the period of the time you change, the people change. And what do you think that you cannot live now with? Maybe in 5 or 10 years, for sure, this will change. So at the moment, it's like this, but you don't know what it will be in 5 or 10 years. Then in 5 or 10 years, I would not be able to live without the things what will happen in the future.
Who knows? If somebody got inspired and they would like to find out more about you, where can they find you?
They can find me in Vienna and operas and beautiful concert performances. There you will find me if you want to find me.
Or online, I guess, also in Instagram?
Or on Instagram, yes, online. I mean, online you can be present with the people. Nowadays, you can be present online in many websites, right?
Any last 30-second thought that you would like to leave us with?
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you will have a lot of fun and keep on this channel.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All the best. And one more time, give a big hand to Leona König. Woo! Thank you for sticking with us until the end. To make this content even more valuable for you, please leave a comment below and share your thoughts, and also share this video with somebody you care about who absolutely needs to see this. Thank you very much. Have an outstanding day and see you next time.